In a world filled with chaos, stress, and endless distractions, what if there was a way to live with peace, purpose, and strength, no matter what life throws your way? What if you could transform your life by embracing the wisdom of ancient Stoic philosophers? In this video, we'll explore 10 timeless Stoic principles that can unlock your true potential, bring clarity to your mind, and lead you to a life of tranquility. Ready to change the way you think, act, and live? Let's dive into the Stoic mindset. 1. Live according to nature. Understanding nature in Stoic terms. In Stoic philosophy, nature isn't just the environment around us, it refers to the rational order that governs the universe. The Stoics believed that everything in the cosmos, from the stars to the actions of people, operates according to a logical, divine plan, or logos. This order is beyond our control, but by understanding and aligning ourselves with it, we can lead a life of peace and purpose. To the Stoics, nature represents more than just physical elements, it also speaks to a deeper, universal rationality that structures life. When we live according to nature, we aren't acting out of random impulses or emotions, but in harmony with the inherent reason that guides all things. Human nature and rationality. At the core of Stoic thought is the belief that human beings are distinct because of our ability to reason. Unlike animals, whose lives are driven by instinct and immediate desires, humans have the power to reflect, choose, and act based on logical principles. The Stoics saw this rational capacity as both a gift and a responsibility. To live according to nature means recognizing this rational aspect of our being and using it to guide our choices. In other words, Stoics believed that our true nature is to live a life led by reason and virtue, rather than succumbing to the whims of our emotions or external circumstances. By doing so, we can navigate life with wisdom, avoiding excess and striving for moderation in all things. Living in harmony with nature. Practical steps for aligning oneself with nature, in Stoic terms, include: embrace simplicity. Stoics believe that happiness is found not in material wealth or excessive comforts, but in the cultivation of inner peace. Simplifying your life by focusing on what truly matters, your virtues, relationships, and personal growth, helps you live in alignment with nature. Avoiding unnecessary distractions and luxuries can help bring you closer to the essential, rational nature of life. Cultivate reason. Every decision, reaction, or action should be filtered through reason. Rather than acting on impulse or emotion, take a step back, evaluate the situation logically, and act with wisdom. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions but understanding and controlling them so that they don't lead to irrational decisions. Emotional control. Stoics were particularly focused on controlling their emotions. By recognizing that our feelings are often triggered by our interpretations of external events, we can learn to react with equanimity. This involves practicing mindfulness, awareness, and emotional resilience in the face of life's challenges. Accept what you cannot control. Central to the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature is the understanding that we cannot control everything. The universe operates on its own principles, and much of life is beyond our influence. Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, while accepting what lies beyond our power with grace and serenity. Examples from Stoic texts. Marcus Aurelius, "The universe is change, life is opinion." In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reflects on how everything in the world is constantly changing, and how our beliefs and opinions shape how we interact with those changes. To live in accordance with nature, we must accept the flux of life and adjust our perceptions to align with reality. Epictetus, "What is in our power is not the world, but our reaction to it." Epictetus emphasized that while we can't control the events around us, we have the power to choose our responses. Living according to nature means focusing on this power and making rational, virtuous choices even when external circumstances are beyond our control. Seneca, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In Letters from a Stoic, Seneca highlights that greed and desire for things beyond our true needs can pull us away from living in accordance with nature. True wealth lies in living simply and in alignment with our rational nature. Modern application. In today's world, living according to nature can be challenging due to the fast pace of life, constant distractions, and societal pressures. However, it remains as relevant as ever. To apply Stoic principles in a modern context. Mindful consumption, choose simplicity over excess. In a consumer-driven society, focus on what adds value to your life, and let go of the urge to accumulate possessions or status. Pause and reflect. In our reactive world, it's easy to act impulsively. However, by taking time each day to reflect on your thoughts and actions, you can make decisions that are aligned with your deeper values and true nature. This could be through practices like journaling, meditation, or simply taking time to assess your day. Focus on what you can control. In a world full of uncertainties, it's easy to become overwhelmed by what's beyond our control. Stoicism teaches that we can only control our own actions and attitudes. By focusing on what we can change, our response to challenges, our relationships, our own behavior, we become more resilient and empowered. Live with purpose. In the modern world, it's easy to get caught up in the rat race, chasing success, money, or validation. 2. Focus on what you can control. The dichotomy of control. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which divides the world into two categories: things within our control and things outside of our control. According to Stoic philosophers, the only aspects of life we can truly control are our own thoughts, actions, and responses. Everything else, whether it's other people's behavior, external events, or the natural world, is beyond our power. This distinction forms the basis for much of Stoic thought. The key is to focus your energy and attention on what you can influence and to accept with equanimity what you cannot. When we focus on what is in our control, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that arise when we try to control the uncontrollable. Acceptance and serenity. The Stoics believe that by letting go of our need to control external events, we can achieve a profound sense of inner peace. When we acknowledge that some things are simply out of our hands, whether it's the weather, the actions of others, or the inevitable passage of time, we relieve ourselves from the burden of trying to change them. This acceptance of what we cannot control fosters a serenity that allows us to act more deliberately, with clarity in purpose. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius frequently reflects on the importance of accepting life's challenges as part of the natural order. By accepting external circumstances as they are, without emotional turmoil or resistance, we can approach life with a more balanced mindset. This doesn't mean we give up on striving for change, but rather that we let go of the attachment to outcomes and focus instead on how we respond to situations. Practical tips for practicing control. Identify what you can control. The first step in applying the dichotomy of control is to pause and assess a situation. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what part of this situation can I control? You can control how you respond, the effort you put into your actions, and the mindset you bring to the table. For example, if you face a difficult work situation, you can't control the behavior of colleagues or the outcome of a meeting, but you can control your preparation, your attitude, and your response to the situation. Daily reflection. Practice a daily reflection where you assess the events of your day and identify what was within your control and what was not. For instance, if you feel stressed about a particular outcome, take a moment to consider, was this outcome in my control? By making this distinction, you can release any frustration tied to external factors. Mindfulness and awareness. Develop a mindfulness practice to increase awareness of your thoughts. When you feel yourself becoming anxious or upset, stop and ask, am I focusing on something I can't control right now? This awareness allows you to redirect your thoughts back to what you can influence in the present moment. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Shift your attention from the final results to the steps you can take. By focusing on the process, such as putting in your best effort, acting with virtue, and doing things for their own sake, you can maintain peace of mind regardless of the outcome. Overcoming anxiety and worry. The Stoics understood that much of our anxiety comes from fixating on the future or external events over which we have no control. Whether it's worrying about an upcoming exam, the health of a loved one, or the broader state of the world, these anxieties often arise from the fear of the unknown and the inability to influence it. By practicing the dichotomy of control, we can reduce these worries. If you are worried about an event that you cannot control, remind yourself that stress and fear are not productive, they only drain your energy and prevent you from taking meaningful action. Instead, focus on what you can do in the present to prepare, act, or respond. For example, if you're anxious about a job interview, you can't control the interviewer's opinion or whether you get the job. However, you can control how prepared you are, how you present yourself, and how you approach the situation with confidence and clarity. By focusing on the elements you can control, the anxiety over the uncontrollable parts of the situation begins to diminish. Real-life stories. Viktor Frankl, the famous psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl found immense peace by embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on what one can control. In his book Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl writes about his experiences in concentration camps and how, despite suffering unimaginable cruelty, he maintained control over his inner attitude. He recognized that while he could not control his external circumstances, he could always control his response to them. This shift in mindset was key to his survival and the development of his therapeutic approach, known as logotherapy. Epictetus himself was born a slave, and his life was filled with hardships that were far beyond his control. Yet, in his teachings, he often emphasized how he could control his attitude and responses. He famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." By practicing this philosophy, Epictetus found freedom and peace in an otherwise oppressive environment, demonstrating the power of focusing on what is within our control. Admiral James Stockdale, a U.S. Navy officer who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for over 7 years, applied the Stoic principle of control during his captivity. Stockdale later described how he used Stoicism to maintain his sanity and sense of purpose while enduring torture and isolation. In his book Thoughts of a Philosophical Fighter Pilot, he reflected on how he accepted that he couldn't control his circumstances but could control his attitude and reactions. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, our responses, and our attitude, we can navigate life's challenges with resilience, reduce anxiety, and find peace in the face of uncertainty. The dichotomy of control offers a powerful framework for living with intention and serenity, no matter the external circumstances. 3. Embrace adversity as opportunity. The role of suffering in Stoicism. In Stoic philosophy, adversity is not viewed as something to be avoided or feared but as an inevitable and even necessary part of life. Stoics understand that hardship and suffering are inherent in the human condition, and they believe that these challenges present opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Rather than retreating from discomfort, Stoics encourage us to embrace adversity as a means to develop resilience, fortitude, and wisdom. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus often emphasize that difficulties are not only unavoidable but also valuable because they test our character and provide a platform for practicing virtue. By facing hardship with courage and a rational mindset, we can build a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In this sense, suffering becomes a tool for strengthening our inner resolve and enhancing our ability to live virtuously. The use of negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. One of the Stoics' key strategies for embracing adversity is the practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, a technique that involves mentally preparing for potential hardships before they arise. The idea is to imagine worst-case scenarios in advance, so that when challenges inevitably come, we are mentally and emotionally better equipped to handle them. By contemplating what could go wrong, whether it's losing a job, facing illness, or experiencing personal loss, we allow ourselves to confront these fears in a controlled, rational way. This practice reduces the shock and emotional turmoil that can arise when adversity strikes unexpectedly. Instead of reacting with panic or despair, we're prepared to approach the situation with calmness and resilience. The Stoics believe that by practicing negative visualization, we can increase our gratitude for what we have and develop a sense of detachment from the things we might lose. It also helps us understand that our true happiness is not dependent on external circumstances but on how we respond to them. Building resilience. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, is a core virtue in Stoicism. Each time we face difficulty and persevere, we develop a deeper sense of inner strength. This process of facing and overcoming challenges is key to the Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate. Stoics believe that whatever happens in life, good or bad, is part of the natural order and should be accepted with gratitude, because it contributes to our growth as individuals. Resilience is built not only by enduring hardship but by choosing to respond to it wisely and with virtue. When we encounter setbacks, the Stoic approach is to ask, what can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me become a better person? By reflecting on these questions, we can turn adversity into an opportunity for personal development. For example, a person who loses their job might initially experience frustration or fear. However, by adopting a Stoic mindset, they can view the job loss not as an insurmountable crisis but as an opportunity to explore new paths, develop new skills, and grow in their career or personal life. This perspective shift transforms a potentially negative experience into a chance to emerge stronger and wiser. Examples from ancient Stoics. Seneca. In his letters and essays, Seneca frequently discusses how hardship can serve as a catalyst for growth. In his work on the shortness of life, he urges readers to make the most of their time and to embrace challenges as a way to live a full, meaningful life. He writes, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." For Seneca, adversity was a way to test and hone one's character, just as physical labor strengthens muscles. Epictetus, who was born a slave, faced enormous personal adversity throughout his life. Despite this, he viewed his suffering as an opportunity for self-mastery. He taught that we should not lament the circumstances we cannot change but instead focus on how we can respond with wisdom and virtue. In his discourses, he famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By embracing adversity, Epictetus turned his personal hardships into a means of spiritual and philosophical development, teaching that true freedom comes not from external conditions but from our inner strength and rationality. Marcus Aurelius. As a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius faced immense challenges, including war, political strife, and personal loss. Yet, he remained steadfast in his Stoic beliefs and saw hardship as an opportunity to practice virtue. In Meditations, he reflects on the value of adversity. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. For Marcus, obstacles were not barriers but opportunities to practice resilience, patience, and wisdom. Modern adaptation. The Stoic approach to adversity is not confined to ancient times but has powerful applications in our modern world. Today, people face a wide range of challenges, whether it's career setbacks, personal crises, health issues, or societal pressures. The Stoic mindset encourages us to confront these difficulties not with resistance or despair, but with the awareness that each challenge offers a chance to grow. Embrace challenges as learning opportunities. In the face of modern struggles, such as job loss, relationship issues, or financial instability, apply the Stoic view that every challenge has a lesson. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I emerge stronger? For example, if a business fails, view it as an opportunity to learn from mistakes, reassess priorities, and apply new strategies in future ventures. Reframe setbacks as opportunities. Rather than seeing setbacks as obstacles, practice the Stoic technique of reframing. If you face criticism at work, instead of feeling defeated, use it as an opportunity to improve your skills or communication. If you experience a health setback, focus on the opportunity to practice patience and develop mental resilience through recovery. Practice negative visualization. In today's fast-paced world, uncertainties and unexpected changes are a part of life. To prepare for the unknown, try practicing negative visualization. Take time each day to imagine potential challenges, whether it's losing a loved one, experiencing a career failure, or facing a health crisis. By mentally preparing for these scenarios, you reduce the fear and anxiety that accompany the unexpected and increase your readiness to handle adversity when it arises. Resilience in personal relationships. Adversity often manifests in personal relationships, whether through conflicts, misunderstandings, or distance. A Stoic approach would encourage you to view these challenges as opportunities to practice patience, empathy, and self-control. By focusing on how you respond to the situation, rather than attempting to control others, you foster stronger, more resilient relationships. By adopting the Stoic mindset and embracing adversity as a tool for growth, we can transform the way we face life's inevitable difficulties. Rather than avoiding hardship, we learn to see it as an opportunity to cultivate virtue, strengthen our character, and grow wiser. In this way, adversity becomes not something to fear, but something to embrace with open arms. 4. Cultivate virtue. The Stoic definition of virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is the highest and most important good, and it serves as the foundation for a well-lived life. Virtue is defined by 4 cardinal qualities. Wisdom, the ability to understand the world and make sound, rational decisions. Wisdom allows you to discern what is truly valuable and act in accordance with reason, helping you navigate life with clarity and foresight. Courage, the strength to do what is right, even in the face of adversity. Courage is not just about physical bravery but also about the mental fortitude to stand up for your values, confront fear, and take action in difficult situations. Justice, fairness, and the commitment to treating others with respect and integrity. Justice involves recognizing the inherent dignity of all people and acting with fairness, honesty, and empathy. Temperance, moderation and self-control. Temperance means practicing restraint and avoiding excess in all areas of life, whether in our desires, emotions, or behaviors. These 4 virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, form the bedrock of Stoic moral philosophy. According to Stoics, living virtuously leads to true happiness, as virtue is the only good that is completely within our control. Virtue as the only good. For the Stoics, virtue is the only true good, everything else, including wealth, health, status, and material possessions, is considered indifferent. While these external things may be preferred or useful in certain situations, they do not determine our happiness or fulfillment. This is because they are outside of our control and can be taken away at any moment. For example, you may lose your job, your health may decline, or you could face financial hardship. These external events are unfortunate, but they do not rob you of your ability to live virtuously. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By focusing on cultivating virtue, Stoics believe that you can remain at peace regardless of what happens in the external world. Living a virtuous life. To live a life of virtue, Stoics recommend cultivating wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in all aspects of life. Here are some daily practices for embodying these virtues. Wisdom. Seek knowledge, dedicate time each day to learning and reflecting. Read philosophy, engage in thoughtful discussions, and seek to understand the world more deeply. Practice mindful decision-making. Before making decisions, pause to consider the long-term consequences of your actions. Use logic and reason to evaluate your choices. Courage. Face your fears, whether it's a difficult conversation, a challenging task, or a personal setback, confront your fears with resolve. Courage involves taking action even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. Stand by your principles. Practice speaking up for what you believe is right, even if it's unpopular or risky. Courage involves doing the right thing, even in the face of adversity. Justice. Act fairly and respectfully, treat others with kindness, honesty, and fairness. Justice involves recognizing the dignity of others and acting with integrity in all your interactions. Help those in need, practice empathy and compassion. Look for ways to contribute to your community and help those less fortunate or struggling. Temperance. Practice moderation, whether in food, drink, work, or leisure. Practice moderation. Avoid indulgence in excess and instead focus on balance. For instance, limit distractions and unnecessary pleasures that may derail your focus on virtuous goals. Control your desires, reflect on your desires and impulses, and ask yourself if they align with your values. Strive for self-discipline in the face of temptations. The importance of self-reflection. To live virtuously, regular self-reflection is crucial. The Stoics practice daily reflection to evaluate their actions, thoughts, and emotions. This helps ensure they are living in accordance with their values and make adjustments where needed. Daily Stoic practices. Morning reflection. Start your day by setting intentions. Reflect on the virtues you want to practice that day and the challenges you may face. Example: today, I will focus on practicing temperance by avoiding excess in my eating and spending time wisely on important tasks. Evening reflection. Before going to bed, reflect on your actions during the day. Did you live according to the virtues? Where could you have acted with more wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance? Example: I was courageous in addressing the conflict at work, but I could have been more patient with my colleague. Tomorrow, I will work on being more understanding. This regular check-in allows you to assess your progress and course-correct when necessary, helping you consistently live a virtuous life. Examples: how to apply the virtues in personal relationships, work, and leisure. In personal relationships. Wisdom. Use understanding and insight to listen more actively to others. Avoid reacting impulsively in conversations and instead take time to reflect on your responses. Courage. Be honest and transparent with loved ones, even when difficult topics need to be addressed. Speak your truth with compassion, and stand by your values in relationships. Justice. Treat your friends, family, and acquaintances with fairness. Show respect for their opinions and avoid judging them harshly. Temperance. Practice patience and understanding in your relationships. Avoid excessive demands or expectations of others, and balance time between giving and receiving. At work. Wisdom. Approach your tasks with knowledge and expertise. Continually seek to improve your skills and make decisions based on logical reasoning rather than impulse or convenience. Courage. Tackle challenging projects with confidence, even if they seem overwhelming. If you see something unethical in the workplace, have the courage to speak up. Justice. Treat colleagues with respect, fairness, and empathy. Offer assistance when needed and ensure that everyone is treated equally, regardless of their position or status. Temperance. Avoid overworking or burning out. Set boundaries to maintain a healthy work-life balance, and prioritize tasks that align with your long-term goals. In leisure. Wisdom. Use your free time to enrich your mind or body, through reading, meditation, exercise, or creative endeavors. Avoid wasting time on distractions that don't align with your values. Courage. Take on new hobbies or challenges that push you outside your comfort zone. Whether it's learning a new skill or taking on a physical challenge, courage can be applied to your personal growth in leisure time. Justice. Spend time with people who support your growth and make efforts to contribute positively to their lives. Temperance. Practice moderation in your leisure activities, whether it's indulging in food, drink, or entertainment. Avoid excess and strive to cultivate balance in all areas of life. By consciously working to cultivate these four virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you can lead a life that is aligned with Stoic principles. Virtue becomes the foundation for living a